Okay. Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. A. Shankar Kumar, Assistant Professor of Public Administration, working at Government Degree College, Malkajgiri. Today we are going to discuss the topic is Union Public Service Commission, UPSC. So the UPSC is a constitutional body and is the central recruiting body of the Indian government. Then in this chapter, the student of public administration and the students of the well known about the UPSC role, functions, and then the composition of the UPSC, independence of the UPSC, and the major functions of the UPSC, additional functions of the UPSC, and then the central personnel and grievances ministry is controlling authority of the UPSC, and certain reforms suggested regarding recruitment qualifications, mode of examinations, civil service preliminary, mains, and then this new latest is C-Shart, civil service aptitude test. So these are the various latest. I know many commissions were recommended the functions regarding the recruitment pattern. Suppose the Kotari committee, then the Satish Chandra committee, next, and now the latest various committees also suggested the powers and functions of the, and then the role of the UPSC. And the major regarding the roles of the uh, before the selection and after the selection also UPSC monitor the various service matters of the civil servants. So, and then the UPSC in the selection process and the coordinating with the central vigilance commissions regarding the promotion, transfers of the civil servants. So, in this chapter, and then the a little bit of criticism also on the UPSC's performance and then the role of UPSC also. So there is positives and little bit negatives also regarding the functions of the UPSC. So in this chapter, first we will go thoroughly by the UPSC. First part is the introduction part. The UPSC Union Public Service Commission is the central recruiting agency in India. It is an independent constitutional body in the sense that it has been directly created by the Constitution, not by the Act of Parliament, constitutional. So Articles 315 to 323, and then the All India Services related articles are starts from the 308, but the UPSC, particularly UPSC related articles in the Constitution mentioned 315 to 323 and the part of 14th of the Constitution. So the major articles, nearly uh, 8, 9 articles, particularly to the UPSC. So part, and then they contain elaborate provisions regarding the composition, appointment, the removal of the members, along with the independence, powers, and functions of the UPSC. So, and then the Parliament has the given a provision in the article, particularly 312, regarding the All India services. So, All India services are the nature of the throughout the India. They can be appointed by the Indian government and they work out throughout the India. And they also works in the state government level and the central government levels also. So the PSC, then the first point is the UPSC and the common terminology, Joint Public Service Commission and State Public Service Commission, we have seen that. So for common all India natures, the recruitment done by the UPSC and certain federal structure of the Indian government constitution also given a independent recruitment agency at the state level. That means the SPSC, State Public Service Commission. So, and there is a need for that if desires the two states burden for the financial and the recruitment scope is very less, then two states can, two legislature can make a recommendation act to the parliament, and then the UPSC and the parliament can create a joint public service commissions. Suppose we have seen that in the Punjab and Haryana, both combined recruitment agencies called Joint Public Service Commission. Earlier in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, APPS is also there, but now the APPSC is separate to the exclusively for the Andhra Pradesh, and now the Telangana is a TSPSC, Telangana State Public Service Commission. So most of the states they have a own state public service commissions. So the constitution is also mentioned in the Article 315. So particularly the Article 315 says the public commissions for the union and for the states. And then the Article 316 appointment term of the office of the union members. 317 removal suspension regarding the particular articles. And 318 powers to make a regulation as to condition of services members and staff of the commission. On 319 prohibition as to the holding of office member of the constitution, the commission and seizing to such a members, so involvement of certain cases. And then the most powerful article important is the functions of the public service commission, 320, and 321 article powers to extend functions of the public service commission. So the whatever the in addition to the president of India has instructed to function the UPSC, and the automatically UPSC will take charge. Now the regarding 322 expenses, and 323 is the reports of the Public Service Commission to submit the president every year. This is the part and the report and articles mentioned in the constitution regarding the UPSC. So first point is the composition. That composition is when that is a structure. So the strength UPSC, normally UPSC at the only one at the Delhi, New Delhi. Then the UPSC consists of the chairman and other members are appointed generally by the President of India and they're recommended by the Prime Minister of India. So the constitution, without specifying the strength of the commission, so depending upon the recruitment, the discretion of appointment members, strength of the members depends upon the President's discretion. So now the 10 members and plus one chairman is there. So who determines its composition? Usually the commission consists of 9 to 11 members, including the chairman. Now the status of this UPSC. So the members are appointed by the President of India. Further, is there any qualification for the members and the chairman of the UPSC? That's a question. So no qualifications are prescribed for the commission's membership, except the one of means that is 11 by means nearly 5 to 6 members. That half of the members of the commission should be such persons who have held office for at least 10 years, either under the government of India or under the government of state. That means the mostly the probably the experts in the field of education and the those who work as a civil servants and other experts are appointed. Their service can be considered to when they appoint the member of the UPSC. And then the constitution also authorizes the president to determine the conditions of service of chairman and other members of the commission. So the chairman and member of the commission hold office a period of 6 years. So normally it's 6 years, and the 65 years the maximum. So if a person's recruited, appointed on the basis of 6 years, and then he will finish his term before the 1 year. So the maximum and the minimum service has given the choice. So 6 years or until they attain the age of 65, whichever is earlier. It's a common tradition norms for the Indian Constitution. However, they can relinquish their office at any time by addressing their resignation to the president. So they want to continue, or if they are not satisfied with their duties, they can relinquish to the address a letter to the president of India. There is a choice, and the next the composition, and then the removal of the same. So in case of the Joint Public Service Commission, the State Public Service Commission, the chairman and members of the State Public Service Commission are appointed by the concerned state governors. So state governor has the in charge for the State Public Service Commission, and the service is the term is the 6 years and 62 years. So 3 years less comparison to the UPSC to the State Public Service Commission. This is also mentioned in this constitution also. So the governor is the choice. And now the part of the BSc is removal. So the president can remove the chairman or any other member of the UPSC from these constitutional backgrounds. So in this circumcision, what the first one is the if the member or chairman he is a judge, that means the like a judgment, and insolent, that is has gone bankrupt, that means this overdraft, then has gone bankrupt. And then the second one is if he engages during his term of office in any paid employment outside the duty of his office. Why? Because it is a constitutional body, the members cannot involve the other activities. So the governor and the president can take a decision regarding the removal of the members and the president. And then the other conditions also mentioned in the constitution, if he is, in the opinion of the president, unfit to continue. So they're not showing in a single reason, the president can give a order to seize his office. So office by reason of infirmity of mind or body. So generally they are recruited, they are appointed at the age of 60, 62, and then their service is almostly completed, and physically, mentally, they may be after the appointed and they have a physical ill, then the president can take a decisions, the members should to stop. And about three circumstances, in addition to three circumstances, the president can also remove the chairman or any other members of UPSC on the basis of misbehavior. So, however, in this case, the president has to refer the matter to the Supreme Court for an inquiry. So, before taking a strong decision by the President of India, the president can take a suggestion, take a guidance from the 143 article to take a advice from the Supreme Court also. But it is not a compulsory, but is a desirable to take a inquiry. And if the Supreme Court, after the inquiry, upholds, supports the cause of removal and advise so, the president can remove the chairman or a member. Under the provision of the Constitution, the advice tendered by the Supreme Court in this regard is binding on the president. So there may be a certain cases we have seen in that. So most of the cases and 1-2 chairmen are involved in the wrong selection process, and the president have taken a certain discrimination powers, and then the order to seize their offices also. And then the other points we have seen in that further the constitution has also defined the term of the misbehavior in this context. So the constitution states that the chairman or any other members of the PSC shall be deemed to be guilty in misbehavior in the concern of the interested any contract agreements and something maybe. So in these cases they can take a action also. Defining the term, what's the misbehavior? The constitution states that the chairman or any other members of UPSC is deemed to be guilty of misbehavior. So that if he is concerned or interested in any contract or agreement made by the government of India at the government of state. And then in the practices, in any way, in the profit of such contract or agreement or in any benefit, there from the otherwise, then as a member and in common with the member of the incorporated companies also. So there are a certain evidence is required to the cease to office also. And then the certain immunities and independence also given to the members and the commission chairman uh, in the constitution also. So the chairman or a member of the UPSC can be removed from office by the president only in the manner and on the grounds mentioned in the constitution. Therefore, they enjoy security of tenure. So 6 years and 65 is the tenure of the general terms of the member and chairman, and now the certain immunity and independence has given to the so the appointed authority is the president, and the removal authority has also has the president. And next, the conditions of service of chairman or member, though determined by the president, cannot be varied to disadvantages after his appointment. This is also uh, mentioned in this states also. And now then the other entire expenses, including salaries, allowances, and other pensions of the chairman and other members of the UPSC is also charged on the consolidated fund of